Well, thank you, Jordan, for taking the time to speak with me today. How are you? How you doing?
Doing good. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So I guess starting off, your final game of the season, Butler, kind of had to bounce back after a tough loss at home against St. John's. Needed a big second half. So how did the team rally together at halftime, pull off the big win?
Yeah, I think obviously tough loss against St. John's, but knowing it was our last regular season game, wanting to get that win heading into the Big East tournament. So just kind of started off with having like a tournament mentality going into Butler of like, obviously it wasn't win or go home in that situation, but having that like relentless mindset of like every single possession, like it matters, and I felt like our team really came together, was connected, and we bonded over that, and you saw our fight in that second half, like you mentioned, especially Liza getting foul trouble early. It's tough, but I felt that people came in, stepped up in different roles and different positions. We were able to play a 4-guard lineup. Haven't done that a lot this year, but people coming in off the bench making impact was really big in that second half of Butler as well.
Yeah, and talking about you yourself, 3 for 3 in the fourth quarter, you kind of stepped up. So how important was this game for you personally heading into tournament play this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, just always doing like whatever the team needs, and I think in that moment we were running a couple of things that obviously just had open shots, had to take them, and stepping up and making those is crucial, and obviously at that point in the game in the fourth quarter. So I think heading into Big East, obviously like you said, that's a good momentum swing for myself individually, but just really excited to have gotten that win and now heading in with that mindset.
Yeah, you said last year, you came back for your 5th year, have all these opportunities, all these moments. So what is your mentality heading into your final Big East tournament with Marquette?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think that Mohegan Sun out in Connecticut, Big East tournament, it's just a great atmosphere and a great environment to be in. Obviously, you got all the noise around you with where it's at, and I think that does a great job of pulling fans. So I know that, we'll have some of our families out there, which will be nice. And then obviously Connecticut has all their fans. And although it might feel like a home game for them a little bit, it's kind of cool because they'll stick around for, just any other game. So our first game against Nova, there'll still be a lot of fans there, and it's a great atmosphere to play in. So, last Big East tournament's going to be exciting, and obviously a great matchup with Nova. So I'm really excited to just get that going and just continue to roll at this point, because we talk about it is win or go home in that situation, and obviously no one wants to go home. So at this point in March, you go out, play your heart out, and hopefully get that win.
You talk about Nova, 2 tough losses this year, but they were close losses. So what do you kind of want to hopefully change going into this matchup, knowing that it is win or go home?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to win in the Big East, and Nova's a great team. So even to be in position to win, we're going to have to make a couple adjustments, probably on the offensive and defensive end. But yeah, they've got a great team, and they're playing some good basketball right now. But obviously, like we said, coming off that win against Butler, having great momentum, having a week to prepare also, I think is in our favor with an even amount of rest and recovery, and then obviously preparation. But yeah, I think there'll be a couple key adjustments that we'll have to make for Nova, but looking forward to that competitiveness in that game again.
Yeah, so you have, like you said, you had a week off. So during this week, what are you focusing on with the team, but also personally getting ready for this tournament?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of, like I said, that rest and recovery as well as preparation basketball-wise. I think for me, just getting in the right amount of shots and same game reps that I've been getting all season. Some of those shots that I hit at the end of the Butler game, those are shots I work on almost every other day. And so just being able to know that the time that you put in on the gym, on this court, obviously pays off in the end. So I think, just getting in some game shots and game reps is the most important, and obviously being mentally focused and ready to go as far as scout-wise.
So it was a little bit of a rocky Big East conference play. You came in undefeated and had a couple of losses, but now you're turning the page. So what is it about the Big East that makes it just so hard to play against these teams, knowing that no matter the record of this team, it's just always that kind of environment? Yeah,
I mean, it's just so competitive. I think every single game you come out and you're going to get the best from everyone. It doesn't matter what seeding they have in the conference. It's going to be a hard-nosed competitive game. A lot of defensive grit from both teams, and I think that this league is turning into a very very, very competitive defensive team, and so there's a lot of like schemes that go around that and whatnot, but also teams that can just straight up score the ball. And so, if you're not ready to defend on any given night, that team is going to be able to score the ball kind of at ease. And so, I think just the way that teams are ready to win and ready to compete every night in the Big East is really fun to be a part of, honestly. But like you said, it's hard to even be in position to win, and that's what we talk about, is even being in position to get a win, let alone winning the game. So there's just a lot that has to go into the preparation with that. But it's a great conference to be a part of, and I think it gets overlooked sometimes. Obviously people are going to talk about the big Power 5 conferences, but here as a basketball conference, I think it's one of the top conferences in the league, men or women.
For sure. I think that's like one of the big things that people don't really take a lot in, is how awesome the Big East is. So like, if you had to pick one of your favorite teams to play in their arena, who would you say?
It's kind of funny. Playing at Nova has a great atmosphere. I really like playing in that arena. I think that the Big East does a great job of pulling crowds. I think that there's a couple teams in the Big East that have a lot of good fan engagement, and those are crowds like at UConn and at Creighton, at Nova, and so. Those big games are obviously big time matchups for us in the first place. But then obviously I love playing in front of a big crowd, and obviously nothing beats playing at the Al, and being appreciative of the way that people have shown up for us this season has been awesome too.
Yeah, you see a lot more people have been showing up in these last few years. Women's basketball starting, get the coverage that it deserves. So how important and how awesome is it for you to be able to be that role model for all the little girls that are here every game?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the head. The coverage at the women's game is getting recently has been amazing across the nation. Honestly, it doesn't matter what conference or what team. I think that just the way people are engaging with women's sports now is really impactful, and gives us the opportunity to have that impact on the younger kids, like you said, and just seeing girls wearing your jerseys and asking to sign their posters and take a picture. I think it's awesome. I've said it before, but I was that little girl at one time, and to see that impact is really awesome, and I'm very appreciative that I'm in the opportunity to have that.
Yeah, going off that, you posted a picture on Twitter of this little girl that gave you a note. She gave you some paintings. So how cool. I know I already kind of asked you, but what does that mean to you, going out every day and hopefully being that role model for these girls? Yeah,
that little girl has been sitting courtside for a couple years now, and she always gives us high fives during warm-ups, and she's been wearing our team gear and stuff like that. So I think it's just cool to have her that close to the team during the games and stuff like that. But I think just being able to deliberately see who you're impacting and then to interact with them on a different level is really cool too. And so when she told me after one of the games, I'm gonna have a present for you next game, and I was like, oh my God, she's so sweet. And yeah, she wrote me a couple notes, drew a couple pictures. She printed off the pictures that I've taken with her before, and so just to have those moments, I really cherish that. And I think you mentioned the tweet, but in that I said that's kind of one of the reasons I continue to love the game, is being able to give back to others is a really important piece for me.
Yeah, kind of going back to the team as a whole. Liza Carlin has really shown her, jumped out of her shell, shown why she is one of the best players in the Big East. So what makes her so fun and great to play with, and what makes her that player that can elevate your game but just elevate everyone's game on the floor? Yeah,
I think something that Liza is showing this year, something she's been capable of for years. She's put in the time in the gym, even time up with the coaches, film. She's really prepared herself for this moment, and so for her to have a season like this, I don't think any of us are shocked, behind closed doors, of seeing the work that she's put in, but she deserves everything she's getting. I think that she, is just able to affect the game in so many different ways, and she's able to get shots from all over the floor, whether that's a deep post up and has her turnaround jumper, or her three ball is coming alive a little bit more this year, and I know she's been wanting that again since her freshman year. So, and then you can't forget about that mid-range. So yeah, she's able to score the ball in so many different ways and impact the game in so many different ways, especially, defensively, her grit, her toughness at times, just being that senior leader that I know she's capable of being. But yeah, her game has really taken it to the next level this year, and I'm very proud of her, and she's very deserving of it. But like I said, I think she has put in that work for it.
Yeah, for sure. And you have so many players on your team that can really go off at any given moment. You have a lot of depth. So how big has that depth been this season, and how big is it going to be in March, knowing that you might need everyone on that bench?
Yeah, I think you're seeing our depth a little bit more even as the season has gone on, it was just kind of cool to see just the way that players have continued to stick with it, of like coming off the bench and making an impact and whatever their role is going to be like in that given moment or that given 3-minute stretch they might get. I think a great example of that has been Lee Volker and Claire Kafis. They've been great from that guard position of being able to come in and do whatever the team needs. And a lot of times it's that rebounding, the toughness plays, making the open shot, making the extra pass, and they're really impacting our team in a different way. And even Skylar as a freshman coming off the bench, giving Franny a sub here and there, or for her and Franny to be able to rotate and give different looks. Obviously, Franny can stretch the floor a little bit and knock down that open shot, and Skylar's range is getting there as well. But Skylar gives us great size inside, and so I think you're able to see a lot of players coming off the bench right now making impacts, and I think that's extremely helpful for us as an entire team. But I think it's great for them to see the impact and just kind of the work that they put in as well.
Yeah, and I guess final question here. There are a lot of new faces on this team. So what are you saying to them as a leader as they get ready to go to Mohegan Sun Arena?
Yeah, I think that's a huge piece that you bring up, is just kind of preparing them for this moment. And we talk a lot too that we've got experience. Franny, this isn't her first time in a conference tournament. Lee either, Bridget either. We've got 2 freshmen obviously that have come in with us this year, and they've got tournament experience. It might be at a different level. Obviously, they've been able to go to state a couple times. So just knowing that there's experience behind that. Obviously, it looks completely different being at the Big East and in Connecticut, and playing Nova a 3rd time. But just really emphasizing how hard it's going to be to fight in that game, and really propelling us off the Butler game of what worked for us, why were we successful in our preparation and in the game, and carrying that through this week. I think this is a team that really just feeds off one another energy-wise, and so making sure that we bring that energy for each other, celebrate each other's small wins, small possessions that are going to in turn be really big possessions for the game.
Well, good luck to you all down at Mohegan Sun Arena, and we can't wait to see what happens.
Yes, thank you so much.